Would Bitcoin suffer if the lead maintainers were kidnapped? Next on your 4-Minute Bitcoin. Today's show is from a post by Marco Castroviglia at Cointelegraph and brought to you by Unchained Capital. Would Bitcoin suffer if the lead maintainers just up and disappeared? Well, that's a question that many in the Bitcoin community must have asked themselves at least once. The news that Vanderlaan was taking a temporary hiatus prompted the question of what some might consider to be an improbable, yet highly impactful situation. A Bitcoin Core developer that's also a maintainer of the project's GitHub account? Or in other words, someone who can merge code into the master branch, well that's a rare commodity. Let me put this in perspective for you. If a Bitcoin Core developer is a black belt, then someone like Vanderlaan is a third-degree black belt. In a recent interview, Adam Back said that neither Laan's departure nor the disappearance of all of the maintainers would present a challenge to Bitcoin, stating that it's not a problem either way technically because even if all the maintainers, well, for example, if all the maintainers had a plane crash and died, a new GitHub could be created. Adam Back also said that most in the Bitcoin community do not truly understand the role of core developers in the ecosystem and that they tend to overestimate their importance. In his view, the changes that Bitcoin core developers can introduce are bound by being backward compatible and should not change the key properties of the protocol like finality, censorship resistance, or the rate of inflation. He also noted that changes should preserve or improve privacy. Now, Back believes that the developers tried to introduce ideals outside of this paradigm and that he does not think a given implementation of Bitcoin's developers can change things outside of that area as the economic ecosystem would reject it and use a different implementation. Back is also against any sort of on-chain governance as he believes this would lead to the centralized lobbying groups taking control of Bitcoin, noting that this is a problem that is inherent to proof-of-stake protocols. Now, some people believe that organizations like Back's Blockstream, Lightning Labs, Chaincode Labs, and others that support Bitcoin core developers, that they have a disproportional amount of influence in the ecosystem with the current system. Back replied that Blockstream purposefully does not take a position on Bitcoin proposals. At the same time, core developers under the company's employ can quit Blockstream if they believe they're being pressured to do something bad for Bitcoin and that the company would have to pay their salaries for another year. So according to Adam Back, Bitcoin would be just fine even if all the maintainers disappeared overnight. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments as always. And this episode is brought to you by Unchained Capital, the world's premier Bitcoin native financial services company, delivering quality products and services for over 200,000 blocks. Visit their site at unchained-capital.com. I'm Gary Leland, the Bitcoin Boomer, and thanks for joining me on another episode of the 4-Minute Bitcoin Show. This is a BitBlockBoom.com production.